All right. So what we discussed in the last lecture, guys?
Parameter file.
Parameter. Okay. Fine. So in the last lecture, we started talking about the parameter file, and when we were discussing about the parameter file, so parameter file is the first file which is read by the Oracle database when you start your Oracle database. So parameter is the file which is initially get started, like when you start the database by using starter command. Parameter file is the file which is read by the Oracle database. So it is the first file, that is the reason it is very important file. So whatever parameters which you have available inside the parameter files, all these parameters will be read under the parameter file. Now what this parameter file contain? Parameter file contain your parameters which will control the database management. Now let me do one thing. Let me share my screen with you all. Okay. Now let us try to understand the next part. Okay. So what we discuss, what we discuss about the parameter file. So in the parameter file, there are two type of parameter files we have seen. The first file is your, what is the first file? The first file is your SP file, and second file is your text file. So as I said earlier in the last lecture, SP file is your binary file, and P file is your text file. So from SP file to P file you can create, from P file to SP file you can create. But when you are starting your Oracle database, by default your database will get started with one file only. So obviously the preference will be given to the SP file. So when you have both the files are available, let's say where the files are available in the Oracle home DBS location, in that location my SP file is available. The name of the SP file will be SP file database name dot ora, and the P file name will be your init database name dot ora. So if both the files are available, by default your database will get started with the SP file. If the SP file is not available, then your database will get started with the P file. So obviously the first preference will be always given to the SP file. That is the reason it is very important file, and we always try to take the backup of this file also. So all these things we have discussed in the last lecture. We have seen everything practically. Today's lecture will try to understand about how you can change the parameter. In today's lecture we will try to discuss about how to change parameter. So as we know that we have a multiple parameters are available, and all that parameters are available under the metadata called $$ parameter. This is a $$ parameter table which contained all the parameter related information, like whatever parameters you have, all that parameter will be available here. So when I want to change the parameter, okay, basically let's say there is an example, like I'll take one example like processes. So processes equals to 300. When you are doing the database installation, you will find that processes equals to 300. So what does it mean? It means maximum 300 process can run and can connect to my Oracle database. Like let's take an example. Someone want to run the RMAN jobs, someone want to run the insert query. Likewise, 300 processes can connect to the Oracle database, maximum 300 at a time. So if any process which is going 301, like more than 300 processes are trying to connect to the Oracle database, then it will restrict that. Just take an example of your IRCTC, or when you want to book any, let's say nowadays IPL is going on and you want to purchase IPL ticket. So everyone will not get the IPL ticket, right? Maximum 300 people will get the IPL ticket, and after that it will be out of stock. Similar way, we are restricting database that okay, maximum 300 process can run at a time. Now assume a situation that you have increased the resources of your Oracle database. Like let's say you have increased your memory, you have increased your number of CPU, you have upgraded your processors also, you have done a lot of changes, and you think that okay, now I don't want 300, I want to increase it to the 400. So basically I want to change my parameter from 300 to 400. That is the main thing. Now when I want to change my parameter from 300 to 400, the first thing which will be coming in your mind that whether I need to shut down my database. Whenever you are thinking that I want to change something, whenever you are thinking that in the Oracle database I want to change something, the first thing which needs to become in your mind that whether I need to restart my database or whether it is my online activity. That is very important. This is very important because you cannot directly shut down your Oracle database. You cannot directly restart your Oracle database. You should not do that, because if you try to restart your Oracle database, you need to take the approval from your client. It's not like that you have access to shut down your Oracle database. It means you are going to shut down the database. No, you need to take the approval from your client, and then and only then you can stop the database, you can start the database. Everything will be done by having the approval only. Now in the Oracle database there are two type of parameters are there. So when I say about the parameter, let's say I want to change a parameter. So there are two type of parameters are there. One we called it as a dynamic parameter, and another type of parameter we call it as a static parameter. Now what is meant by dynamic parameter? So dynamic parameters means what is meant by dynamic parameter? Dynamic parameters means the parameter which will get changed immediately. The parameter which will get changed immediately, that is called dynamic parameter. Immediately means you don't need to restart the database. No restart required. No restart. No need to bounce the database also. So this parameter you can do and you can make the changes. That's not a problem, because this is a dynamic parameter which will change immediately without restarting the database. So there are some of the parameters are static parameter which will not change immediately. You need to restart the database, not immediate. You need to restart the database. You need to restart. So whenever you want to change static parameter, you need to take the approval from your client. Even if you want to change this parameter also, it is good to have taken the approval from your client, because you don't know if something went wrong. So just have a discussion with the client only. So there are two type of parameters are there, dynamic parameters and static parameter. Now there will be a question in your mind that there will be a question which will be coming in your mind that, okay, how to check whether it is a dynamic parameter or static parameter? How will I come to know that? When I'm talking about the processes, whether it is a dynamic parameter or static parameter, do I need to restart the database or not? So we have a metadata table called v $parameter. Under this metadata table, there is a column called is sys modifiable. If you check this column will show you the information whether the parameter is static or dynamic. Where in the v $parameter, it will show you whether the parameter is static or dynamic. You can see it over here under this v $parameter. I know that you people are very much curious to know these things practically. So let me start this machine. So I'll start your March Oracle machine, and whatever things I have explained here theoretically, I'll show you this practically. But before I proceed to the practical part, just wanted to check whether you are able to understand.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We are able to understand.
Yes, sir. We are able to.
Which process is reading the parameter file? Is it some server process or like a small and some process like that?
No process will be involved in that. Fine. So I think my server is getting started. Okay. A small will read this. Fine. Okay. Now let me take the remote. So I'll just duplicate all the tabs and I'm going to open this. Fine. Let me connect to the Oracle. Now see, since I started my server, when you start your server, your database will not be running automatically. I started the server, right? When I started the server, your database will not start automatically. You need to start the database manually. There is a way to automatically start the database also, but by default the configurations will be like, if you stop the server, your database will get stopped. If you start the server, you need to start the manually. So I'll connect to the SQL Plus. slash as sysdb, and let me start it. So I'm going to fire startup command. When I'm firing this command like startup, as you asked, there is a process called smon. Smon is responsible to read the parameter files. The first file which is read by the Oracle database is your parameter file only. Now, as I said earlier, when you are starting your Oracle database, by default your database will be started with which file? Which file it will get started?
SP file.
SP file.
So if I fire that show parameter SP file, I can see here that my database has been started with SP file. My SP file is available in the location Oracle Home DBS. In this location my SP file is available. Now there is a parameter like let's take an example, show parameter processes, processes. If I check my processes parameter, the processes parameter value, it is showing it as 300. How much it is showing? 300. Now assume a situation that I want to increase this processes count from 300 to 400. Assume a situation that okay, I need more people to connect, more people to do different operations. So 300 is something, you know, which is not the accurate one. I want to increase it now. But remember one thing, that when you are increasing the number of process, it will consume your lot of resources also. And I know that I have a sufficient resources available as of now. So I'm going to change my processes count from 300 to 400. So before I make any changes, the first thing which is coming in my mind, that whether it is a dynamic parameter or static parameter. So how to check that? DSC v $parameter. If I go here, select name, comma, is this modifiable? Where is that? Here. From v $parameter, where name equals to, what is my name? Like processes, processes. When I'm checking this, I can see is this modifiable is false. False means it is a static parameter. If it is an immediate, it means it is a dynamic parameter. Now it is a static parameter, it means what I need to do? I need to restart. So how to change the parameter? First of all, I need to change the parameter, right? So processes current count, it is showing it as 300. How to change parameter? Alter system set processes equals to 400, scope equals to SP5. Now what is scope? I'll discuss in some time, but at this point just keep a concentration on processes count. I change my processes from 300 to 400. When I'm going here, show parameter processes, it is showing me that processes current value is 300 only. Why? What I need to do?
Restart the database.
We need to restart the database. So for that, there is no direct command to restart the database. So we need to shut down it, and then we need to shut down it and then start it. Okay.
Ankush, do we need any approval for database shutdown and all?
Yes. We need to take the approval from client.
Okay.
Ankush, I have a doubt, like how many processes are connected can we identify in database?
Currently process, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do it.
For that we need to fire any command or like?
Yeah. Without command, nothing is happening.
Okay. Can you show that once? How to check it?
So what I did now, I fired the shutdown immediate command. I started my Oracle database, and if I fire show parameter processes, processes, How much I can see now? How much I can see?
That 400 is changes.
So basically
300.
your parameter has been changed from 300 to 400. Where I can see this 400? Where I can see this? In which file I can see this 400 now?
$B parameter.
Where I can see this?
SP file.
I can see
file.
it in SP file. Can I see it in P file?
Yes, we can see.
If I go and try to open the P file, what is this now? Array, how to? So I'll do one thing. I'll go to the processes equals to 400. If I go to the Oracle home, then DBS location, here is my which file? Both the files are available, but I'm interested to open which file? P file. So if I try to open a P file and if I check the processes, still it is showing as 300 only. Why? Why it is showing it as 300 only? Why not 400? Because
Yeah.
my current database is using which file? SP file. So if I'm making the changes will be reflected to SP file only. If I want that 400 here, what I need to do? What I need to do?
Create SP file.
Create
Just
P
from
file
SP.
from SP file.
SP file. I'm creating a new P file. So if I go here, if I do exit, like if I do exit and if I try to open again, I can see 400 here. Clear? Everyone?
Yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
हेलो हाँ बोल भेजा तो इधर हो भेज 9:30 बजे है
Now, next question will be like, what about the other parameter? I'll give one example, like we can take any example. There is one parameter called open cursor. Open cursor. CURSORS, I think. So this is also one parameter. There are many parameters are there in the Oracle database. Around 450 parameters are there. Among them, this is related to the cursor. Many times you will find that the PL/SQL team or PostgreSQL team, this PL/SQL team basically, they will create a cursor. Cursor is one concept in the PL/SQL. They will open a cursor. They will use that. So in that program, they can use maximum 300 cursors. Okay. And after that, they will get the error message that maximum open cursors has been reached to 100%. So they will ask you to increase the number of cursors. So basically what I need to do, I want to change this cursor count from 300 to 400. Whenever you want to change any parameter, you can use the command like alter system set. I want to change this open cursor to 400 and I'll mention scope equals to both. First of all, I will check whether this open cursor is a static parameter or dynamic parameter. So the above command only I am going to run this is sys modifiable. Instead of processes, I will call this open cursor. If I go here, I can see it is a immediate mention. Immediate means if I check my show parameter open cursor, how much I can see now here? Earlier it is 300. How much I can see?
400.
I can directly see 400 without restarting the Oracle database. Why?
Static parameter.
Dynamic. Dynamic.
Static or dynamic?
Static.
Dynamic.
Dynamic
Dynamic means immediate, no restart.
reflect.
Clear na? What is static? Not immediate. What we need? We need to restart.
Need to restart.
So this parameter is static or dynamic?
Dynamic.
Dynamic.
So I have just taken one example of static parameter and dynamic parameter. Likewise, you can change n number of parameter. Like simply you can run alter system set, your parameter name and value. And what is this scope? I'll discuss. Understood, guys, till now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ankush, we no need to enter commit statement after
Commit is
doing
not required. Commit is only for only for what?
DMLs.
D. Okay.
DML
Table,
statements.
Commit is for
DDL.
ECL, I guess, transaction.
User things.
DDL.
Like
DDL,
DDL or
DML
DML?
commands.
DMLs.
DL and
Insert, update, delete.
Whenever you are firing a DML statement, what are the DML statements are there?
Insert, update, delete.
Insert.
Insert, update, delete.
That time only you need to do commit or rollback.
Rollback.
This alter will come under DDL.
DDL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is this scope? When I'm changing the parameter, there are three type of scope I'm using here. Let us try to understand about that. Scope. So we have a scope equals to SP file is there. We have scope equals to memory is there. We have scope equals to both is there. Normally what happened, there are three type of scopes are there when you are changing the parameter. Like normally when you use alter system command, you need to specify the scope. So when you are starting the Oracle database, as soon as you are starting the Oracle database, this is a database which is having an instance. Instance is basically your memory only. So when you fire a startup command, your database will start, and this will read your parameter file. So your SP file it will read, which is having your all the parameters are there. So it will read the parameters, and it will place that parameter. It will read all the parameters, and it will place that parameter into the memory. Which memory? Database memory. So basically you are here as a DBA, you are here. When I fire a command like scope equals to SP file, when I say scope equals to SP file, it means the changes are happening over here in this SP file. When I say processes equals to 400, so let's say there is a processes was there, here it was 300 was mentioned. You change this 300 to 400, but where these changes has been done? Inside the scope equals to SP file. But I'm already connected here inside the memory. I'm checking it in memory. So when I'm checking it in memory, I can see 300 only. I cannot see 400. When I can see 400? When I can see 400, guys? What do you think?
Cursors.
When I can see 400 here?
SP file.
When we create P file, SP file.
No. When I'm going to restart my Oracle database. When I'm
After
going to restart my Oracle. As soon as I'm going to restart my Oracle database, what will happen? It will again read the SP file.
SP file.
And now in the SP file, how much it is there? 400. So in memory also you
Now
can
it's
see.
400.
Did you understand, guys, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yeah.
If I say, but scope equals to SP file, you cannot use for all the parameters. Scope equals to SP file, normally you can use for static parameter. Even you can use it for dynamic parameter also. No, dynamic parameter is not possible. Only for static parameter. Because dynamic parameter makes the changes into the where? No,
Memory.
for dynamic parameter also we can do that. For dynamic parameter also you can do that. I'll discuss about it. Now scope equals to memory means where you are going to make the changes. You are going to make the changes on memory side here. Now let's take an example. You have a parameter called open cursor. Here earlier value was 300. When you start the Oracle database, when you start this database instance, open cursor value is 300 here. Here also 300. Here also 300. Now what you did, you changed the parameter from open cursor 300 to 400. You change and you mention scope equals to SP file. Now where these changes has been done? memory
That is
side
memory.
or SP file side? Memory side. So this 300 got changed to 400. Okay. But when you are restarting the Oracle database, let's say you restart the database instance, how much I can see then after the restart?
300.
After the restart, I can see 300 only because
We changed at the
you
memory.
changed on memory level. So anything which is available on the memory level, it will be vanished. It will not be there because we change it on memory level.
Memory.
Scope equals to both means you are making the changes in SP file plus memory level. Now
So
what does it mean?
scope is equal to memory only for dynamic retrieval?
Now scope equals to memory you can use for dynamic. Can I use it for static? Because static parameter will not allow me to make the changes into the memory. You got my point? It will
Yes,
not
yes.
allow me.
Okay.
Scope equals to both means you are making the changes in SP file as well as in
And memory.
memory level. Now let's take an example. I'll take this example only. Open cursor you mentioned earlier it was 300. Okay, so I'll draw here. So let's say this is my SP file where open cursor was 300. When you start your Oracle database, here also open cursor is 300 only. So 300 to 300. You use the alter command. You use alter command and you said that open cursor 300 to 400. And you mention scope equals to both. When you mention scope equals to both, it means the changes is available inside the memory
Memory.
plus
Static.
SP file. Now if I restart my Oracle database, how much I can see? How much I can see after restarting the Oracle
300.
database?
400.
300 or 400?
400.
400.
I can
400.
see in 400. Why? Because my SP file is also having 400 only. You got my point?
Yes.
But if I say scope equals to SP file, now here I can see 400. After restart the Oracle database, how much I can see? After restart, I use scope equals to memory. Sorry, I use scope equals to memory. Let's say I use scope equals to memory. So here I can see 400. After restart, how much I can see?
300.
I can see
300.
300 only because anything which is available inside the memory, it will be gone.
Will be done.
Let me show you this practically. Let me show you. Now here, my current value of open cursor is 400. I'll use the above command. Alter system set open cursor equals to 300. Scope equals to memory. How much I can see now?
300.
300.
300 or 400?
100.
300.
I can see 400 or 300.
300 only.
I can see 300 only
300.
because I said scope equals to memory.
Memory.
And dynamic parameter, I can change it into the memory level. If I restart my Oracle database, what will be the open cursor?
400.
It will be 400 only. You got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If I'm showing you one more example. Okay, same example. If I say scope equals to both, what is my current open cursor? What will be my open cursor?
300.
300. After the restart, how much it will be?
300.
400.
After the restart,
300.
400.
300.
300.
300.
300 or 400?
300.
It will be 300 because I said scope equals to both. Both means in SP file also it is 300. Let me do one thing. If I say show parameter processes, processes, what is my processes count? Current 400. I say alter system set processes equals to 500. Scope equals to memory. So what is my processes count now?
500.
400.
400.
500.
I'll get the error message that scope equals to memory is not possible. I cannot do scope equals to memory for which parameter?
Static.
Processor.
Static parameter. You got my point? So instead of that, what I can use scope equals to SP file.
SP file.
Now what is my processes count? 400 or 500?
400.
500.
400 itself.
400.
400 we need to
If I
restart.
restart my Oracle database after that,
500.
It will be
500.
500.
500. If I say scope equals to both, how much it will be?
Giving error.
It's not work.
Huh?
Giving error because it
Error.
was a static.
What will happen?
That will show error.
Throws error.
Getting SO error.
I
It
will
will say
get error message. Because scope equals to both means you are making changes into the SP file. SP file is possible. But is it possible in memory?
Memory is not possible.
I'm getting the error message. Understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ankush, my understanding is like so for SP file changes we need to do immediate restart. For memory we need not to do restart at all.
We
And
don't need to restart. No.
yeah, for both we have to restart, but it's not required immediately. Okay.
Correct.
If you give scope is equal to both, then no need to get approval from the client side, right?
If you use scope equals to both, what is?
Then no need to restart it now.
If you use scope equals to both, no need to restart.
On that time we are not getting any
If you use
approvals
scope
from.
equals to both means you are making the changes into the memory, means currently running instance.
Yes.
And even after the
And
restart
dynamic
also you
also.
can see that new changes there. Okay.
Yeah.
So no problem in that.
Yeah. For run that command, you need to approval.
Yeah. Any command what you run in the Oracle database which is making changes to the database, now you need to take the approval.
Yes.
Even for a small thing also. Okay.
Yeah.
Because your small change can make a big problem in the Oracle database. So we always try to take the approval and then only we make the changes. Now, let's talk about the control file. So this control file is a very important file in the Oracle database. Very important file. Okay. Control file is mainly responsible to hold the metadata information about your database. Metadata means like if someone is doing the commit operations, so your control file header will be updated. Your control file is aware that okay, someone has done the commit. If someone is doing the rollback, that information also will be going to the control file. The database related information like your database name, and the most important thing is the data file locations. The data file location will be stored under your control file. Along with that, a redo log files information also. Redo log files location. Control file is very small in size, because it is just keeping the information. It is not storing any data. Data files are very big in size. Data files are big in size because it is actually holding your data. So if someone is asking me that data file is all about doing the labor work, just like labor are doing the actual work, and he is like a manager who is managing and he is seeing everything. Okay, he has done the commit. Even if you are taking the backup in the Oracle database, let's say in future you are going to learn about the RMAN backup. So that RMAN backup related information will be stored under the control file. Like you have taken the full database backup, incremental backup, whatever backups you are going to see in future, that information will be stored under your control file. So that is the reason this control file play an very important role. Again, as I'm saying that it's a very small file, and since this file is very important, we always try to take the backup of these files also. We always try to take the backup of this file also. Now what will happen when you are doing the Oracle database installation? We try to keep the multiple control file. How many control files? Multiple control file we try to keep. Multiple control file means, let's say I have one control file available in this location. I will have my another control file in another location. Let's say we have control01.ctl. We can have slash data control02.ctl. We can have another like u02. There is a different mount point. There I will have my another copy. All these control file will have same to same information. Whatever information control01 is there, same information is available under your control02 and control03. They are having same to same information. Okay. All are in sync. All the control files should be in sync. Like if this is having some information, same information should be available. Same information should be available. So who is having the location of control file? Your SP file, which is your parameter file, have the location of control file. Okay. And your control file have the location of your data files and online redo log files. So when you are starting the Oracle database by using the startup command, this is a sequence. First of all, it will read your SP file. SP file have the location of control files. Control file have the location of data files and online redo log files. And finally, your database will get open. This is a sequence. Now, many times people are also asking in the interview, like, what is the sequence to start your Oracle database? Like, how Oracle database is getting started. So I have shown you, like, if you want to start the database, you can simply run the startup command and your database will get started. Oh, this is fine, but I want to know the internals. So when you are firing the command like startup command, the first file which is read by the Oracle database is your SP file. The first file which is read by the Oracle database is SP file. This is the first file. As I said earlier also, when you are starting the Oracle database, your SP file, which is having all the parameters, will be read by the Oracle database. When it reading the parameters of SP file, there is a parameter related to the control file also, which has the location of your control file. So when you are starting your database and it is reading your SP file, as soon as it has read your SP file, it will go into the no mount stage. What is that stage we called? No mount. So your database will go into the no mount stage as soon as it is looking for SP file. And SP file have the location of control file. And as soon as database get the control file, your database will go into the mount stage. Which stage? Mount stage. And as soon as control file, it reaches to the control file give him the location of data files and redo log files, and finally your database will get open. And when your database get open, you can perform read and write operations on your Oracle database. Like you can do read, like your select, and you can do write operations like your insert, update, delete. All these operations you can do. In order to make your database to be available for the end users, your database should be open. But when you are firing the command like startup, basically it is going into the 3 stage: no mount, then mount, and finally it is open. So in the no mount stage, it is looking for your parameter file. First of all, it will look parameter file, then it will look for control files, and then it will look for data files and online redo log files. Then and only then your database can be open. If any one of the file is missing by any chance, then you will not be able to start your Oracle database. Your database will be in that particular stage only. There is option to start your database in particular stage. When you fire startup, by default it will get open. It means it is going into the no mount and mount. But if you want to start your database in no mount stage, or if you want to start a database in mount stage, you can do that. There are some of the maintenance activities are there which we normally perform in mount stage. like you're keeping your database into the arcalog mode, no arcalog mode, all these things we do, and other operations are also available. What I mean to say that your database should be get open, but yes, there are certain times where you are going to put your database into the mount stage.
इधर से नहीं आ रहा है.
Understood, everyone?
Ankush, I have a doubt.
Yes.
So all the changes has been made. So all these changes will be written to data file, right? So then why, if we don't have online read logs, why we can't bring the database to open state?
Mm-hmm. Understanding, everyone? Which DB state is an idle instance? How much time it is? 9:22. So one thing I want to explain you, one more scenario, like let's say I have a parameter file is there. Now what I want to do, in this parameter file, we have a control file location is available. I'll show you practically also. If I go here, if I go to the Oracle home, DBS location, ls-lrt, if I go to init prime.ora, I think it's open. You can see there are two control files are there. As I said, like, we use multiple control file. So we have a control file, like, control file 01 and control 02 is available here, right? Many times we are in a situations where I want to add one more control file. Let's say I want to do multiplexing. The concept we called it as a control file. What for concept we called it as control file multiplexing. Okay, what we called it as control file multiplexing. So I'm going to show you in the next lecture that how you can add one more control file. Like we have a control 01 is there, we have a control 02 is there. Let's say I want to add one more control file, control 03, that one I want to add. So how you can add this one more control file, that is what we are going to discuss in the next lecture. Okay, so can we see now? Is it okay?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can we go? Fine. Let's try to understand about the concept called control file multiplexing. So what do you think? What I need to do? What do you guess? What do you think?
Created the parameter file.
We need to
We need to first create a one location, and that location should be entered into the parameter file.
if I am adding the location in control file, will the control file will be created in that location? I got your point. You are saying that I need to update my parameter file along with my third location. But does my control file will be created by just specifying the location there? Did you understand my question?
Not great.
Did you understand my question, guys?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So in my parameter file, it has mentioned that there are two control files are there. So it will go there and it will try to, it will go there and it will try to see this two control file, correct? So you are correct. I am going to add one more control file, correct? What we are going to do? We are going to add one more control file. Learnomate control file. Just search with the multiplexing. If you go here, you'll see the blog, and I'm going to add it. Copy. ठीक है. What the system said. So this is my first control file, this is my second control file, and this is my third control file, control 0 3.ctl. Okay. Now what I will do, I am going to run this command. So control file, when I'm changing the parameter, it is a parameter only. Which parameter it is? Static or dynamic? When I use scope equals tsp file means
Static.
now if I do show parameter control file, how many control file I can see now? 2 or 3?
2.
I can see 2 control file only.
2.
But when you are restarting the Oracle database, it will try to see this third control file. You got my point? Yes or no?
Yes. Because that was.
So what I will do, I'll shut down my database first, because you cannot do the changes when your database is running. Shut down your Oracle database, copy the control file from existing control file to new control file. Anyway, all the control file have same to same information, right? So can I do one thing? I'll copy this first control file with third control file, or second control file to third control file. Any one copy. You got my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
So what I will do, I will copy this. Why I'm doing this operation when my database is down? Because your control file is internally getting, when I'm doing the shutdown, internally it will do commit, and that commit information is also going into the control file. So you need to copy your first control file with third control file. You can try to keep the control file any location, not a problem. Now in my SP file, how many control files are there? If I'm starting now,
3.
It will show.
and whether the third control file is available physically there?
Yes.
Now it is there. If you are not doing the copy operations, what will happen? Your SP file is saying that take 3 control file, but whether it is there? No, if you are not copying it.
So is it for synchronization, sir?
For synchronization means?
Like why we need to copy that files?
If I'm checking here, I can see how many control file there? Third control file. Why I am doing this? Because by any chance someone deleted first control file, I have a second control file. If someone deleted second control file, I am having three control file. All the control file have same to same data. You got my point, everyone? Yes, or no?
Yes.
All the control file have same to same data. So this is the way you can do control file multiplexing concept. We call it as a control file multiplexing.
So how many control files should we maintain?
See, normally it will be 2 or 3 only, not more than that. Normally it is like 2 or 3. And you try to keep it into the different mount point itself. Why? Because the complete mount point get deleted. Let's say there is a junior person, he deleted the complete mount point. Then what will do? Everything will be gone, right? So better to keep it third one at least in /user1, user2, wherever you want to do. You can do that. Wherever you want to do. You got my point, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Someone might have fired the command rm space rf /data. All 3 control files gone. Anyway, you will have a backup. You are going to take the backup. I'll show you how to do that. But this is very important. Okay. Now coming back to the question which has been asked, why we need redo log files when you are starting the Oracle database. See, we cannot assure that all the changes will go into the data files. That is what we discussed in the last lecture. There is a chances that you may have a abnormal shutdown. Someone fired shutdown abort, or suddenly my database has been crashed. See here, My Zoom meeting is running now. My database is doing some changes, and suddenly there is a power up. Do you think that the database will get a chance to do the commit? No, right? So in
So
that case, who is going to do the rollback and all? S1 will do that. Instance recovery we called it as. But this redo is having all that SQL queries, right? It will run that. And who will say that what all changes are committed, what all changes are non-committed? Who will do that? Who will say that till these transactions are committed? Till this point,
Checkpoint.
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 point. That's why we need which one? Redo log files. Clear now, everyone?
Clear, Ankush.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And try to understand one thing, that everyone
Yes, sir.
is in sync. Like every file will have a header. Like this is my data file, this is my online redo log files, this is my control file. My control file is saying that I have 200 record information. So here also it should be 200, here also it should be 200. You got my point? Everyone should be in sync.
Sync.
Correct na? Everyone should be in sync. Okay. Then and only then I can say that. Now let's say my online redo log file is saying that I have 200, but my data file is having only 150 only. So who will do the roll forward? Who will help to go to the roll forward? We need to roll forward, right? 150 to 200. There are 50 transactions are missing. Your online redo log files. But who will start that initially? Yes, mom. You got my point, everyone? That's what we discussed in the last lecture.
Yes.
Fine. Let us try to understand the. There are many important scenarios are there which we will see in the next lecture. Okay, but for that you just need to come online and we'll continue this lecture by tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining.
Ankush, I just have a question. Like, I stuck up with some issue. I checked with support team even, like ping is not working either in Mobax term or even in terminal. Like ping, if I say like ping google.com